There comes a moment in every life, a moment when the skies darken, the storms gather, and the weight of the world feels unbearable. It is in that crushing silence, that overwhelming solitude, that you might feel lost, as if your light has been swallowed by shadows. But here is the unshakable truth. When darkness falls, your inner light shines brighter than ever before. Think about the night sky. The stars don't shine because the day is bright. They shine because of the darkness surrounding them. In the deepest blackness, their brilliance becomes undeniable. This is not just a metaphor. It is a cosmic law woven into the fabric of our universe. And this law applies to you. History's greatest souls, Edison, who failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb, Lincoln, who rose from poverty and heartbreak to lead a nation, Ford, who revolutionized the automobile industry. Despite countless setbacks, they all faced their own nights of darkness. But in that darkness, they found their light. You too possess that light. It's a light born not from external circumstances, but from within your spirit, your will, your essence. It is your purpose calling you through the shadows, your courage waiting to be awakened. The question is, will you answer that call? Many of us waste precious time waiting for the storm to pass, hoping for the sun to return, wishing for easier days. But the truth is, the storm is not your enemy, it's your invitation. The storm is the catalyst that forces you to dig deeper, to rise stronger, to transform your pain into power. Imagine a seed buried deep beneath the soil. It faces the crushing weight of earth and darkness, suffocating cold and uncertainty. Yet, it doesn't despair. Instead, it reaches for the light, pushes through the dirt, and blossoms into a mighty tree. That seed is you. The storm is your soil. And your inner light, it is the root system, the unyielding force that sustains you. But how do you nurture this light? How do you keep it alive when everything around you threatens to snuff it out? First, you must cultivate awareness, the practice of mindfulness that allows you to witness your thoughts, your fears, your pain without becoming them. This is the essence of meditation, a timeless gift from Eastern philosophy that modern science now confirms reshapes the brain and heals the soul. When you sit quietly and observe the turbulence within, you create space for your light to emerge. You step out of the storm's chaos and into the calm eye at the center. Here, you meet yourself without judgment. Here, you find the spark that has been waiting patiently all along. But awareness alone is not enough. Awareness must be paired with intention. You must decide every day, every moment to be the light bearer of your own life. This means choosing courage over comfort, growth over stagnation, faith over fear. The great inventor Thomas Edison once said, "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up." The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. Every failure, every heartbreak, every dark night is not a sign of defeat, but a stepping stone toward your victory. You see, your inner light is not a static flame. It is a living, breathing force fueled by your thoughts, your actions, your beliefs. When you feed it with hope, gratitude, and love, it grows stronger. When you starve it with doubt, resentment, or regret, it flickers. And here is the most powerful secret. Your light is contagious. When you let it shine fully, you illuminate the path not only for yourself, but for those who walk beside you, behind you, and even those who do not yet know they are searching. This is the essence of service, a key principle of Jay Shetty's teaching and Eastern wisdom alike. To serve is to shine. To uplift others is to magnify your own light. The world does not need more darkness. It needs brave souls who dare to glow despite the night. So, how will you choose? Will you allow the darkness to define you, or will you become the star that guides your own way through it? In the coming parts of this journey, we will explore how to deepen your self-awareness, cultivate unshakable faith, harness the power of gratitude, and embrace resilience as a way of life. Together, we will ignite the inner light that transforms shadows into a stage for your greatness. Because here is the final truth. The night may be long, but dawn always arrives. And when it does, you will shine brighter than ever before. In the quiet aftermath of the storm's fury, your mind becomes the battleground where light and darkness wrestle for dominance. The mind, a universe within itself, is where your true transformation begins. Because it is not the circumstances outside that define you, but the stories you tell yourself inside. You've heard it before. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford's words ring with an enduring truth that is more relevant now than ever. Your mindset, the lens through which you view your reality, shapes everything. It carves the path that your feet will follow, the emotions that swell in your heart, and the actions that build your future. But what happens when your mind is clouded with fear? When the voices inside whisper doubts, replay past failures, or scream not enough? This is where many falter, succumbing to the shadows rather than shining through them. The challenge is this: your mind is powerful, but it is not you. It is a tool, a mighty instrument that, if trained with care and intention, can become the compass that guides you out of darkness and into your own light. Look to history's great minds: Edison, who embraced failure as a necessary step; Lincoln, who persevered through rejection and despair; Oprah Winfrey, who transformed childhood adversity into a platform of empowerment. What set them apart was not the absence of struggle, but the mastery of their mindset. They cultivated what modern science calls neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself. They trained their minds to focus on possibilities rather than problems, on growth rather than defeat. And so can you. How? Start by becoming the observer of your thoughts. When negativity surfaces, the I can't, the I'm not good enough, the what if I fail again, pause. Don't react, don't believe, simply observe. Label these as thoughts, not truths. They are clouds passing through the vast sky of your consciousness. Then consciously replace them with affirmations rooted in reality and possibility. I am capable. Every step forward is progress. Failure is a lesson, not a verdict. This is not blind optimism. It is deliberate reprogramming of your inner dialogue. Consider the ancient practice of mantra meditation, a single word or phrase repeated to center the mind and spirit. Jay Shetty teaches that the mind is like a garden. What you plant, you will harvest. If you plant seeds of doubt, despair will grow. If you plant seeds of courage, resilience will bloom. Let your mantra be your shield. I am enough. I am growing. I am becoming. Beyond mindset lies belief, the deep, unshakable faith in yourself and your journey. Belief is the fuel that ignites action. Without it, motivation flickers and dies. But belief is not wishful thinking. It is the commitment to your vision, even when the path is unclear. Think of the Wright brothers. Before their historic flight, countless experts said it was impossible. Yet, their belief in human flight propelled them through years of trial, error, and ridicule until they soared above the clouds. Your belief is your wings. Nurture it through small wins, through celebrating progress, no matter how incremental, and by surrounding yourself with reminders of your worth and potential. The next part of illumination is clarity, a clear vision of who you are, what you stand for, and where you want to go. Without vision, even the brightest light scatters. It loses focus, direction, meaning. Ask yourself, what does my light look like? What legacy do I want to leave? What values anchor my decisions? Write these down, speak them aloud, feel them in your bones. Let your vision become the North Star guiding every decision, every moment. With mindset, belief, and vision aligned, discipline becomes your bridge between dreams and reality. Discipline is not punishment, it is love for your future self, the daily acts that honor your purpose. Discipline is Edison's tireless experiments, Lincoln's endless self-education, and Disney's refusal to quit on a dream. It is showing up when you don't feel like it. It is doing the hard thing because you know the reward is worth the struggle. But discipline must be balanced with compassion. When you stumble, and you will respond not with self-judgment, but with kindness. Remember, even the strongest light flickers. Gratitude becomes the oil that keeps your light burning bright. In the darkest moments, gratitude is the radical act of seeing beauty where others see despair. It rewires your brain to focus on abundance instead of lack. Practice gratitude daily for breath, for lessons learned, for every small victory. It shifts your energy from victim to victor, from darkness to light. Finally, embrace resilience, the ability to bend without breaking, to rise after every fall. Resilience is not innate, it is cultivated through experience, perspective, and the refusal to give up. Remember, diamonds form under pressure. You are becoming a diamond. When darkness falls, your mind, belief, vision, discipline, gratitude, and resilience combine to become a force unstoppable. This is the mindset of illumination, the internal alchemy that turns shadows into brilliance. And as your inner light grows, you don't just survive the night, you become the dawn. Your mind is awakening, your belief is rooted, your vision is clear. But what is a flame without wind to carry its warmth? What is a light without direction? The next vital step on this journey from darkness to brilliance is purpose, the sacred compass that transforms intention into action. Purpose is not merely a goal or a dream. It is the deep knowing of why you exist, the reason your heart beats with urgency even in the quiet moments. Without purpose, action is random. It dissipates like smoke in the wind, lost and ineffective. History is rich with examples of people who found their why and let it set fire to their world. Consider Abraham Lincoln, who led a fractured nation with an unwavering commitment to unity and freedom. Think of Marie Curie, driven by an insatiable curiosity and desire to heal through science. Or Martin Luther King Jr., whose purpose was a world where equality and justice were not aspirations but realities. Your purpose is the source of your inner light's power. It aligns your soul's song with your daily steps. It answers the question, what am I here to give? Because the truth is, we shine brightest not when we seek light for ourselves, but when we become light for others. But purpose is not always handed to us on a silver platter. Often, it is forged in the crucible of struggle, discovered through trial and reflection. It demands courage to look inward, to question societal expectations, to face fears, and to embrace vulnerability. So, how do you find your purpose? Start by asking, what pain have I endured that can be transformed into power? What joy do I seek that I can share? What gifts do I have that the world needs? Journal your answers. Meditate on your values. Listen deeply to the whispers of your heart. Sometimes purpose emerges not from grand epiphanies, but from small, persistent nudges, moments when you feel alive, when time disappears, when you're doing something that matters. Once purpose takes root, it demands action. And action is the language of faith, faith made visible, yet action must be intentional. Not every movement propels you forward. Not every step leads to the horizon you envision. The difference between those who succeed and those who falter lies in focused, consistent action. Thomas Edison tested thousands of filaments, not randomly, but with methodical purpose. Walt Disney faced bankruptcy and ridicule because he was relentless, deliberate, and innovative in his pursuit. Here, discipline becomes the backbone of your journey. But discipline is more than routine. It is devotion to your purpose. It is waking up before the sun to write your story. It is choosing what feeds your soul, even when distractions scream louder. Every day, craft your action with intention. Break your purpose into manageable steps. Prioritize what matters most. Eliminate what drains your energy. Celebrate every small victory to fuel momentum. Remember, purpose-driven action transforms the abstract into the concrete. It breathes life into dreams and turns the invisible into the visible. However, along this path, resistance will rise. Resistance is inevitable because growth threatens comfort zones. Your inner critic will speak louder. Fear will attempt to paralyze. Here, remind yourself that resistance is a sign of progress. It is the mind's way of protecting the old narrative, the story of limitation and fear. But you are rewriting that story. Embrace resistance as a teacher, not an enemy. Meet fear with curiosity rather than avoidance. When you act despite fear, you weaken its grip and strengthen your light. At the core of purposeful action lies service. Service is the heart's highest expression, the realization that your light grows, not by hoarding it, but by sharing it. Service transforms success into significance. It turns achievement into legacy. As Jay Shetty often teaches, true happiness comes from making others happy. When you dedicate your actions to uplift, to heal, to inspire, your inner light shines with an intensity that cannot be dimmed. This is the alchemy of purpose and action, a cycle where your light ignites others, creating a chain reaction of transformation. So stand now, fueled by your purpose. Let your actions speak louder than your doubts. Walk boldly into the unknown, knowing that every step taken in faith is a victory over darkness. And in the doing, you become the light you saw, a beacon not just for yourself, but for all who wander in the shadows. The path illuminated by purpose and action is not a straight line bathed in constant light. It twists, turns, and at times plunges into darkness deeper than you imagine. But it is here in the trenches of hardship and failure that your inner light proves its true strength. Resilience is not simply about enduring, it is about transforming. It is the art of bending without breaking, of rising not just to where you were, but higher than before. Consider Thomas Edison again. After 1,000 failed attempts at creating the light bulb, when asked about his mistakes, he replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10 zero ways that won't work." His resilience was rooted not in stubbornness, but in a relentless belief that each setback was an invitation to learn. Or think of Nelson Mandela, who endured decades of imprisonment but emerged not with bitterness, but with a vision to unite a nation through forgiveness. Resilience is the fire that tempers your spirit, forging it into something unbreakable. But how do you cultivate this resilience when the storm rages and your light flickers? First, recognize that falling is inevitable. Every person who has ever created, led, or changed the world has faced failure. The difference is not in avoiding the fall, but in choosing to rise over and over again. This rising is a practice like a muscle that strengthens through use. Start by shifting your mindset about failure. See it not as a verdict on your worth, but as feedback on your effort. When a door closes, look for the window it opens. Every no is a step closer to your yes. Next, cultivate self-compassion. When you stumble, do not meet yourself with judgment or harsh words. Instead, treat yourself as you would a dear friend with kindness, patience, and understanding. This nurtures healing and renews your courage. Then, build your support system. Even the strongest flame needs air to breathe. Surround yourself with those who believe in your light, mentors, friends, family, who lift you when you falter and celebrate your resilience. Remember, resilience also demands adaptability. The storm may force you to change course. Flexibility is not weakness, it is wisdom. Like a tree that bends with the wind, your ability to adjust protects you from breaking. Look to the lotus flower, which blooms pristine from muddy waters. It is a symbol that beauty and strength often emerge from the darkest places. Finally, resilience flourishes in gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is lost to what remains. It reveals that even in struggle, there is richness, lessons learned, relationships deepened, courage uncovered. In cultivating gratitude, you cultivate light. Each challenge you face is a crucible for your spirit. You are not merely surviving the storm, you are growing through it. With every rise, your light grows brighter, pushing back the darkness, not just around you, but within you. So when the night feels endless, remind yourself, your inner light is not defined by how brightly you shine when skies are clear, but by how fiercely you burn through the darkest hours. And as you rise, as you persist, your story becomes a testament, a beacon for others who are still lost in shadows. Your resilience is a declaration that the human spirit, no matter how battered, can reclaim its brilliance. Stand tall, knowing that every fall has prepared you for this moment, the moment when your inner light not only shines but guides. Purpose is the compass that steers your soul through uncertainty, the spark that ignites your inner flame when all else feels dim. It is more than a goal or ambition. It is the deep, unshakable reason you rise each morning, the why that fuels your every breath. Without purpose, even the brightest light can flicker and fade. But with purpose, even the faintest ember has the power to set the world ablaze. Reflect on the lives of those who have moved history, from Marie Curie, who pursued her passion for science despite overwhelming obstacles, to Martin Luther King Jr., whose dream lit the way for civil rights through conviction and courage. Their purpose was their power. It transformed doubt into determination, fear into fearless action. Your purpose is uniquely yours, shaped by your values, your passions, your experiences. It is the song your heart longs to sing and the story only you can tell. Discovering this purpose requires deep reflection and courage to listen to the quiet voice within. It is often drowned out by the noise of expectation, comparison, and distraction. Meditation, journaling, moments of stillness, these are the tools to tune into your true self. What stirs your soul? What injustice moves you? What joy makes time stand still? Purpose does not demand perfection, it demands presence. And when you align your daily actions with this purpose, your inner light grows from a flicker to a blaze. Purpose also demands resilience, for the path it lights is seldom smooth. It asks for sacrifice, discipline, and faith. Faith in the unseen, in the unknown, in the power of your own potential. But the reward is a life of meaning, a life where every challenge becomes a stepping stone, every setback a lesson, every victory a testament to your commitment. Know this: purpose is not found in the applause of others, but in the quiet conviction of your heart. It is not a destination, but a lifelong journey, a journey that transforms not just your life, but the lives you touch. Let your purpose be your anchor when storms rage, your fuel when fatigue creeps in. For when your actions are born from purpose, your inner light shines not only brighter for yourself, but becomes a lighthouse for others navigating their own darkness. So embrace the journey to find your why and watch as your inner flame grows stronger, lighting the path not just for you, but for all who dare to follow. Dreams, no matter how radiant, remain whispers without discipline. It is discipline that chisels the raw marble of your desire into a sculpture of reality. Discipline is the silent architect of greatness, the bridge between the invisible and the tangible. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before the incandescent bulb illuminated the world. Yet he called each failure a step forward because discipline kept him at his bench day after day, fueled by relentless curiosity and grit. Discipline is not the enemy of freedom, it is the foundation upon which freedom is built. It is the daily commitment to the small acts, waking early, practicing, refining, saying no to distractions, that builds the fortress of your future. When darkness threatens to swallow your dreams, discipline is the steady hand that holds the candle, refusing to be extinguished by circumstance or doubt. But discipline is not mere rigid routine. It is a deeply compassionate practice rooted in love for yourself and your vision. It is the promise you make to honor your potential even when motivation wanes. Like a river carving through stone, discipline shapes your path with persistent flow. It teaches patience in progress, humility in setbacks, and joy in the journey. Yet, it demands balance. Too much rigidity stifles creativity. Too little dissolves intention. The dance of discipline is a balance of strength and flexibility, structure and freedom. Find the rhythm that works for you. Let discipline be a partner that empowers, not a taskmaster that drains. This is why discipline must be born from purpose. When your why is clear, discipline becomes a natural extension of your commitment, not a chore, but a choice. Remember, every great figure from the resolute Lincoln to the visionary Ford embodied discipline. They understood that the ordinary day-to-day sacrifices built extraordinary legacies. So embrace discipline not as a burden, but as the light that guides your way through the darkest nights. Let it be the heartbeat of your actions, steady and unwavering. For in discipline lies the power to transform your inner light from a flicker of possibility into a blaze of reality. Discipline is the architect, but action is the builder. It is the leap from thought into motion, the moment when your inner world tangibly reshapes the outer one. Without action, dreams are just shadows dancing on the walls of your mind. Consider Henry Ford, who revolutionized the automobile industry not just through invention, but by daring to act where others hesitated. It was his willingness to take risks, to step boldly into the unknown, that propelled him forward. Action requires courage, not the absence of fear, but the mastery over it. The courage to face uncertainty, to embrace vulnerability, to move even when the path is unclear. Many wait for the right moment, a perfect alignment of stars, a flawless plan. But history shows us that the right moment is forged in the act itself by daring to begin, even imperfectly. Action is a conversation with the universe, a declaration that you refuse to be a spectator in your own life. It is the raw, electric energy that breathes life into your vision. Yet, action without reflection is reckless. It must be intentional, informed by your values and vision, rooted in the clarity you have cultivated through mindfulness and self-awareness. When you take action, you also invite failure, a necessary companion on the journey to growth. Each misstep is a lesson, a recalibration, a push to evolve. Think of Walt Disney, who faced bankruptcy and rejection countless times before creating an empire. His actions, born of unwavering belief and resilience, turned dreams into legacies. Action is the heartbeat of transformation. It transforms ideas into impact, intentions into reality. Without it, potential remains dormant. So rise, take that step. No matter how small, let action be your rebellion against stagnation and doubt. This is your call to courage. This is the moment where your inner light pierces through darkness, igniting a path forward. For when you act, you declare to the world and to yourself that your story matters. The night is darkest just before the dawn, but the dawn always comes. Resilience is the fire that burns within you when everything else seems to crumble. Look back through history at figures like Abraham Lincoln, who faced defeat after defeat, heartbreak after heartbreak, yet never let despair claim his soul. His resilience was not mere stubbornness, it was a conscious choice to rise time and again to meet the storm with open arms. Resilience is a dance with pain and hope. It is the art of bending without breaking, of welcoming hardship as the sculptor of your character. When darkness falls, it is resilience that kindles your inner light brighter than ever before. Resilience is not something you are born with. It is forged through experience, cultivated by every scar, every challenge, every moment you choose to stand. Consider Thomas Edison, who said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10 zero ways that won't work." Each failure was a step forward, a brushstroke in the masterpiece of his invention. This is the resilience we carry within not a denial of suffering, but a fierce embrace of the journey. To be resilient is to trust the process, to honor the struggle, and to know that no night is eternal. It is waking up each day with a renewed vow to keep moving forward, even when your heart aches and your spirit tires. This resilience transforms wounds into wisdom and setbacks into comebacks. So when darkness falls, remember, your inner light is a flame born from the ashes of every trial. You are not alone. You are not defeated. You are rising. Like the phoenix, your story is one of rebirth, of shining brighter because you dared to endure. And in this light, you find your power unshakable, radiant, eternal. In the chaos of darkness, purpose is the compass that guides your soul. It's the quiet whisper that says, keep going, this is why you fight. Purpose is not some distant, elusive treasure hidden beyond the horizon. It lives inside you, woven into your very being, waiting for you to recognize it, to claim it, and to live it fully. Think of Henry Ford, who once said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." His unwavering purpose fueled an industrial revolution, transforming the world one assembly line at a time. Purpose is not about grand gestures or monumental achievements. It's found in the small moments, choosing kindness over bitterness, hope over fear, growth over comfort. It's waking up each day with a sense of meaning, even when the world around you feels like it's falling apart. When darkness threatens to swallow you whole, purpose becomes the light you reach for, the reason to stand when your knees shake, the reason to speak when your voice trembles. Without purpose, the storm feels endless. But with it, even the fiercest tempest becomes an opportunity, a call to rise stronger, to become more than you ever imagined. Purpose gives your journey meaning beyond pain. It transforms survival into living, endurance into thriving. And as you walk this path, remember, your purpose is unique, yours alone. It is the legacy you craft with every step, every breath, every heartbeat. So, when darkness falls, anchor yourself in purpose. Let it be the steady flame that guides you home. For in purpose, you find your true light, and that light can never be extinguished. Resilience is the silent hero of every great story. It is the grit that turns scars into stories, pain into power, and loss into lessons. Look at Abraham Lincoln, a man who faced defeat after defeat, loss after loss, yet rose to lead a nation through its darkest hour. His resilience was not a flashy spectacle, but a quiet, relentless force that refused to surrender. When darkness falls, resilience is the muscle you build to rise again. No matter how many times you fall, it is waking up when the weight of the world presses down on your chest. It is finding courage when hope seems like a distant memory. It is the promise to yourself that no storm will define you, only refine you. Resilience means embracing your humanity, your vulnerabilities and fears, and using them as fuel to propel forward. It's not about never breaking. It's about learning how to bend without snapping, how to heal without hiding, how to keep moving even when your spirit feels shattered. Resilience transforms the darkest nights into the dawns of new beginnings. And within that strength, you discover the unshakable truth. Your inner light shines brightest when tested most fiercely. This is your call to rise, to stand tall in your truth, to embrace the light within that darkness could never touch. You are not defined by the shadows that try to claim you, but by the light you choose to ignite every day. From the ashes of struggle, you have built a fire, one that illuminates your path and warms the hearts of those around you. Like Edison, who said, "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up." The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. You too hold the power to persevere, to shine, and to inspire. Your journey back to self-learning to love yourself is the greatest revolution you will ever lead. So stand in your light. Let it radiate beyond your fears, your doubts, and your past. Because when darkness falls, your inner light does not flicker, it blazes, and the world is waiting to witness that fire. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If this story moves you, please like, share, and subscribe to support more inspiring content like this. Your light matters. Let's shine it together.